Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and today I'm going to look at the fantasy championship draft that took place yesterday on our site at 5 p.m. It was called the Fantasy Championship 5 p.m. Power Analysis Draft. So I'm going to jump into this right now, show you the screen. There was a lot of interesting picks in this draft, in my opinion. A couple things I haven't seen in terms of how teams stack themselves. There's a couple different things that teams did here. First one I want to point out was Jack Mossberg. He went with the zero running back theory. So he did not take a running back with his first 5 picks. He took Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, DJ Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Keenan Allen with his first 5 picks. And he ended up at the running back position with James White, Tariq Cohen, Latavius Murray, Sony Michel, Adrian Peterson, and Justin Jackson. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for Jack's team, if his strategy of going all in with the receiver position is going to pay off for him to win this fantasy championship league. Another team, Mark Moskowitz, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Mark, but he also went really really receiver heavy, I should say. He took 4 receivers with his first 5 picks. He didn't go all in with the receiver position, but went pretty heavy on the position, took Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Todd Gurley, Robert Woods, and Cortland Sutton. So 2 teams in this draft really went with the receiver theory of going heavy on that position and then waiting on the running backs and seeing if they can hit on some of these guys later in the draft. The rest of Mark's team at the running back spot, besides Todd Gurley, is Raheem Armstead, Jordan Howard, Darrell Henderson, and DeAndre Washington. So again, interesting to see how these 2 teams attack this draft. They went with the different strategy, maybe to see if that pays off. Also, I wanted to see where Leonard Fournette went in this draft. So this is the first draft I've looked at since he signed with the Bucs, and he went in the 4th round. Brett Kepford, who had the 12th pick in this draft, he took Leonard Fournette in the 4th round of the draft. So he took him with the first pick in the 4th round. Interesting to see if he keeps going that high, because there's still talk that Ronald Jones, not sure how much I believe. Bruce Arians keeps saying Ronald Jones is the starter, but that's what he's saying for now. But Leonard Fournette really goes pretty high in this draft, 4th round overall to Brett Kepford's team. Also, I wanted to point out Jughead went a little different in this draft too. He took back-to-back tight ends in rounds 5 and 6. He took Mark Andrews and Evan Ingram with back-to-back picks. So he has 2 tight ends on his roster, 2 elite tight ends. He went with them very early. First time I've seen that, going with 2 tight ends this early in the draft. And also, James Beckett, he was similar. He took Darren Waller in round 6. Then he came back, not the next round, but in round 8 took Tyler Higbee. So he has 2 very good tight ends on his roster as well. So he went heavy on that position too. Again, first time I have seen teams attack the tight end position like this that early in drafts, in these TFC drafts. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So the zero running back team also was the last team to take a quarterback in this draft. I always like to look at that. So Jack Mossberg was the last team to take a QB. He took Ben Roethlisberger in round 13. So that was his first QB selected. For the most part, a lot of teams had their quarterbacks on their roster fairly early in this draft, by round 9 or 10. That's how it played out in this draft. I guess round 11 was probably the round that was really the last one to see teams get their number 1 QB besides Jack Mossberg, who waited until round 13. So again, always interesting to see where the QBs go and how fast and furious they fly off the board. Now I want to get to what everybody's waiting for, the top 3 teams in my opinion in this draft. Again, a lot of good drafts, a couple different ways that teams stack their teams. So it's a little harder for me to pick this time. I didn't think there was really one team that stood out head and shoulder above the rest, but 3 teams I like. First one I want to mention, Mark Brown. He picked 2nd overall. He took Saquon Barkley, James Conner, Chris Godwin, Raheem Mostert, Kyler Murray, Stephon Diggs, Marlon Mack, Darius Slayton, Tevin Coleman, Boston Scott, Mike Gesicki, Jonnu Smith. It's kind of the core of his team. So he has two really good running backs in Barkley and Connor, who I like this year. And I think Mostert is a very solid number 3 to get on his roster. I worry about his number 2 receiver position after Chris Godwin a little bit, but hopefully Stephon Diggs or Darius Slayton or even Michael Pittman Jr. hits for Mark's team. And I like Kyler Murray a lot as a number 1 quarterback. So I think Mark has a good team here. He has a lot of nice balance on his roster. Always helps to have Saquon Barkley as your number 1 pick as well. So I think he did well in this draft. Another team I like is the 1, 2, 3, 4 net team. So he picked in the 10th spot, actually the 9th spot, and he took Miles Sanders with his first pick, and then he took Kenyon Drake, Odell Beckham, Adam Thielen, Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Chase Edmonds, Tony Pollard, Josh Allen, Dallas Goedert, Chris Herndon. That's the core of his team. A little worried about tight end with Goedert and Herndon. I do like Herndon a lot this year, so hopefully he comes through for him. Maybe he was that was his line of thinking as well, which is why he waited on the position. But I really think this team did well at the receiver and running back spot, which we know is so important. Really like the core of those spots for his team. Miles Sanders, Kenyon Drake, 2 really good backs, 2 really, I think, low-end number 1 backs. So he has both these guys on his roster. Odell Beckham, certainly the potential to be a number 1 receiver. Adam Thielen, the same. Then he has Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson as well at receiver position. I think he did well there. And Josh Allen, not flashy, but definitely a dependable number 1. So good job to 1, 2, 3, 4 net in this draft. The last team, Justin Simmons, really thought he did well in this draft as well. This might be my favorite of all the teams, and he picked out of the middle, which is tough to do. So he had the 7th overall pick, took Derrick Henry, and then he had Aaron Jones, Allen Robinson, Cam Akers, Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker, Hayden Hurst, Russell Wilson, Henry Ruggs, Damian Harris, Deshaun Jackson, A.J. Dillon, Brashad Perryman, and Jack Doyle. That's the core of his team. I really like his 2 backs. I know Aaron Jones, some aren't quite as high on him, but getting him as a number 2 I think is pretty solid. So he pairs him with Derrick Henry. Allen Robinson, solid number 1. Marquise Brown, Devontae Parker. I like those guys. Marquise Brown, definitely capable of breakout year. Hayden Hurst, same boat. I think he's capable of breakout season. Russell Wilson, very dependable number 1 receiver. And I like the chances that Justin took in the middle rounds, getting guys like Damian Harris, A.J. Dillon, Deshaun Jackson, Brashard Perryman, Jack Doyle. I think these are all high upside guys that are capable of doing big things. So great draft, a lot of interesting picks in this one. So if you want to get in one of these fantasy championship leagues, go to fantasychampionship.com. Chance to win $300,000. I've said it numerous times, but I'm going to repeat it. This is the best high stakes championship on the web. So sign up today for a chance to win $300,000. fantasychampionship.com. Also, get in any of our money league games if you want to get in different price points. As cheap as $10. You can also get in high stake leagues that go into the thousands of dollars as well. Different price points, different formats. Go to RealTime Fantasy Sports, rtsports.com. Click on the football link and then money leagues, and you can see all these different leagues we have to offer. And drafts are going off every day, every night up until the start of the season. This is prime draft season. So get in a draft today at your convenience. So I appreciate everybody watching. Looking forward to doing another one of these tomorrow. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day, everyone.